Hello, Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and welcome to my Stamping and Creating with Fiona. Today I'm going to share with you a very simple, I know it doesn't look simple, but it is, believe you me, it's only 3 scored lines. So I'm going to share with you a very simple but a wow fun fold. So I've already posted a picture of this particular card, which is one that I made on Monday with the acorns in our craft and chat on a Monday morning. I'm not going to make this particular one again with the paper and the stamp sets, but this one is a Valentine's card, obviously, as you can see, and it uses the Sweet Conversations stamp set and the Sweet Talk double-sided paper. So when you fold this out, so it'll go into a 6x6, yep, 6x6 envelope, and then you just simply fold it out, and then obviously you can stamp all over. I've just stamped the Happy Valentine's and the heart here, and then I can write a sentiment, and what's more, it does actually stand up. So that's good all round. It's not one of these ones that you just have to lie down and it kind of just lies there and you can't really see the effect. So so that's the card. So that's the one that I made on Monday. I also made another one on Monday using the New Horizons double-sided paper. Now you'll find both sets of paper and the stamps and coordinating stamps and dies in the spring-summer catalogue. It's changed its name in the January to July mini catalogue. So this is one of the sheets of paper that I simply cut up into to squares, and I have a stamped sentiment, and I've also added a die cut piece that looks like a fence. So when you open up this one, it's very simple. It's just got the paper inside and the sentiment, and again you've got lots of space to write a sentiment or whatever, or a note, and then again, as I said, it stands up. So I'm just going to quickly show you what I used for those. I do have them all sitting here. I've just managed to bury them as always. So the Sweet Talk and the Sweet Conversations is part of the Sweet Talk suite. So you will find that on page 9. And as I said, I've used the stamp set and the dies. The dies themselves, this particular one here, these little hearts going across. I did the same technique as I did for the virtual card and a couple last week. So this has got foam adhesive sheet behind it, so you don't have to try and get the glue into a tiny little area. Makes that much simpler to be able to just stick onto a card. So this is the stamp set and the dies, and this is the paper. And then the New Horizons is here. So again, this is the stamp set. So the sentiment is the relax and enjoy your day. These are the little bits, the dies that look like fencing. And then this is the paper. And I know I showed the Sweet Talk paper a while back, but I'm just going to quickly go through the New Horizons paper. So it comes as 6x6 paper, and you get, let's remind myself, 48 sheets. So there's 4 each of 12 different designs. And these designs can be used, so you can stamp on them and create landscapes and all sorts of things. So this looks like water with mountains. Again, more water, like a sunrise or a sunset with trees and hedges or something over the other end. And it sort of, they all seem to have all that theme. So basically there is an horizon on the sheet somewhere. So I'll just go through these. That's one of my favourites. I really like that one. As is this. And this one. I don't think there's one in here that I don't like the top of. And this one I'm not too sure whether it goes that way or whether it goes that way. But anyway, and then this, there is the 12th one doesn't have an horizon on. It's more of a sort of a galaxy, sunrise, sunset effect. And then on the other sides, they are simply a more simple design in the various colours. So we've got rich raspberry, blackberry bliss, misty moonlight, pale papaya, old olive, pear, pizzazz. There's all sorts of evening evergreen. I don't think there's a colour that these will not coordinate with. So you can get your favourite colours out. And oh, actually that looks like an horizon too. So this one's got 2 on, so great. So yeah, so it's 48 sheets, 4 of each designs, and it's £10.75. It is in stock at the moment, and I'm going to be using this for March's classes, just so you know. But without further ado, I am going to show you how to make this fun fold. So it starts off as a sheet of A4 or US letter size cardstock. All my measurements I'm just going to do today are in centimetres. I do have a diagram that I will post onto the Facebook page, which shows you all the scoring lines and the measurements. So there's no need to write anything down at the moment unless you particularly want to. So we're going to start with a sheet of A4 paper, and I need a base colour. So I'm going to go with Fresh Freesia. Don't need that piece, I just need 1 piece. And I'm going to cut this so that it's a square that measures 21 centimetres by 21 centimetres. So that means I need to pull the arm out on my trimmer. So it's already 21 centimetres across, because that's the standard A4 size, and it's 29.7 long. So I'm just going to turn it and cut it so that it's 21 by 21. Like so. And I'll put that other piece to one side because I don't actually need it now. So now here comes the fun part. And as I said, it's pretty straightforward. And I don't need the arm anymore. And there are just 3 very simple score lines. So you're going to start with your square, and you're going to place the top left corner at the 7 centimetre line. And you're going to score all the way down your cardstock. So you've got a line, scored line that's 7 centimetres away from that top corner. You're then going to rotate your cardstock so that you're going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. Yes, that is clockwise. And then again, put the top left corner at 7 centimetres. And you're going to score again. So you now have 2 score lines. Okay, so I'm going to remove my trimmer for the time being. And remember, when you're doing this, to make sure that you're using the lighter grey blade, because that's the trimming one. You do not want to be using the darker grey blade, because that's the cutting one. And heaven forbid that you end up cutting through rather than scoring. Although, having said that, I mean, I have to say, I'll put my hands up, and yeah, I have done that. So then you need a ruler and a pencil. So I have my 2 score lines so that there's a small square in the top left-hand corner. And I'm going to measure from that top left-hand corner 14 centimetres across and make a little mark. And then I'm going to turn it just so that this is actually, and then I'm going to measure down 14 centimetres to make another mark. But I'm actually just going to turn the paper anti-clockwise and do it that way. So again, I'm marking 14 centimetres from that top corner, well, it's actually bottom now, of that small square. Okay, so I've now got 2, I'm turning it back the right way, so I've got my 2 score lines at that 7 centimetre horizontal and vertical, and then I have two 14cm marks which measured from that top left corner, and then we're going to score from this mark on a diagonal excuse me, to that mark. Oh dear. So I'm going to bring my trimmer back for that. Again, make sure you're not using your trimming blade, you only want to use your scoring blade. And then you just want to place your mark in the centre of the cutting blade, trimming blade guide. So that one's going to go there, and then you probably can't see the bottom one because I'm slightly off the table here. And then the idea is you're going to score all the way down, and it's going to come across this intersection here. If it doesn't, then you've kind of gone a little bit wrong. So I'm just going to do my initial one there just to see and lift it up. Oops, and I've kind of moved it. So that would have been all right if I hadn't moved it. Okay, if in doubt, just go for it. Right. Okay, that's fine. So that's all the scoring you need to do. So I now have 3 scored lines. So I have my 7cm vertical, my 7cm horizontal, and then my diagonal from 14cm to 14cm. And now all we need to do is well, first off, we need to remove the 2 marks that you made in your pen with pencil. And I seem to have got one here as well. Don't know how I managed that. Take that off. And I'll take that one off because you don't really want that pencil showing. So now you need a bone folder. So the 7cm lines that go across and down, you're going to valley fold those. So when I say valley fold, you're actually making a V. Don't know if you can see, like that. So you're going to fold that, try and make sure that everything, all the edges line up. And then you're going to give it a really, really, really good burnish. In fact, I'm actually going to turn it over and do it as well, just to make sure. Like that. So then you're going to open it up, and then you're going to do another valley fold on that 7cm vertical. So again, you're just going to fold it in on itself, making sure that this line matches up with that and your edges all match up. So again, you're going to give it a really, really good burnish. Turn it over. Like so. So you've now got 2 valley folds that kind of go like that. And then the last score line, this diagonal line, you're going to make that a mountain fold. So basically you're going to lift it up and you're going to fold away from you so that it's creating the V that way. And again, you want to make sure that all these score lines here match up. And again, give this a really good burnish. So it should come to a nice point at the edges. And when you open it up and you sort of flick up these here and that way, it goes that way and that goes that way, you'll see that it's starting to fold. That bit needs to go. Goes that way. Oh dear. It's going to go that way. That's it. So you're going to end up folding this. So if you have it back as it was, and you're going to fold that piece in, tuck that down, fold that down, and then that is then just going to lie flat as a corner. So I'll show you again. So you've got your square, here's your valley fold, this is your valley fold. So you're going to fold them in so that that one on the left hand side touches the back portion. And you're going to fold down the top, so again it meets the back portion, and then that will then create this square here in the top left. And that's it, that is your basic card, and after that really it's up to you on how you want to decorate it. So I'm going to use the Friendly Hello paper and stamp set from Celebration. Quick reminder, Celebration ends on the 28th of February, so you've got a couple more weeks left to place an order to earn yourself a free Celebration set. So each £45 you spend, you are able to order a stamp set or some paper. And then there are two elements, or two items, which are available with a £90 spend, one of which is the and I'll show you what I'm using. So I'm going to use, oops, daisy, it's all stuck. As I said, the Friendly Hello stamp set, and it also comes with some paper. So you get a whole pack of 12 by 12 paper. So 13 stamps and 12 sheets of double-sided paper, 2 each of 6 different double-sided designs. So that's what I'm going to use today to decorate this card. So I'm going to need my trimmer because I've got a bit more cutting to do, but this time it's going to be paper and card. And it really depends on what you want to do. I'm going to follow this design, so I'm going to use both some designer series paper for the background and some white. But in fact, I may even go a bit mad and just use that one and that one as designer series paper too. So my little squares here, I'll show you, measure 7 by 7. So you're basically going to want to cut squares that are ½ centimetre smaller. So the paper is 6.5 by 6.5, and then the white for stamping is 6 by 6. If you don't want to do any stamping, then you can just put paper on that is 6.5 by 6.5. And this larger piece in here, this large square here is 14 by 14. So I've cut a piece of 13.5 by 13.5 centimetres. Again, don't worry about writing down the instructions unless you particularly want to. These will all be on Facebook, probably tomorrow. Don't think I'm going to be able to get it done today. I've got to do some various things, got to go for some blood tests and things like that. Nothing serious, but it's things that need to be done. Right, so I'm going to cut the piece for the inside first. So as I said, I'm going to cut this at 13.5 centimetres by 13.5 centimetres. And then I'm going to want, and this piece here, because it's the back piece that I've just cut, you don't need to cut anything else for that. So it's actually quite good when it comes to cutting. You're not doing too much. So I'm going to cut two. No, actually, I'm just going to cut 6.5 and a 6.5 by 6.5 to go there. Now let's see, is this 6.5? Oh, yeah, I can get away with that. That's good. So that's going to be for my top left corner. Now I'm going to use some double-sided paper. And again, it's really up to you what you want to use. I'm going to use this. So first of all, I'm going to cut some that is going to be for the back. So I need another 2 pieces that are 6.5 by 6.5. That's going to be 6.5. Like so. So that's going to be the 2 back pieces, and then I'm going to do some front pieces, which are going to be the reverse side. Let's see now. I want it to be 6 by 6 this time. I'm just going to cut off a little slither, and then let's see, 6 by 6. I like using double-sided paper because actually it means that I don't have to stamp too much. But sometimes it means I have to colour a lot. So there's pros and cons to everything. So that's that piece. Now I just need to find my card base, which I buried as a surprise. So one thing I would say is when you're putting this together, stamp before you glue in, because if you make a boo-boo, then you can simply turn your cardstock over. So I'm going to put this piece on here with these pieces on. Although I could even go that way. You're only going to see a little bit of it. And then I could go mad and actually stamp on there, but no, I'm going to leave it like I said I was going to. So that's going to go on there with that on there. That one here is going to go on the bottom there. And then this one is going to go up here. So I'm going to stamp this and I'm going to stamp this. Now if I wanted to, I could colour these images. And I think I will. I'll use some other colours and bring some extra colours in. And then I need to decide what I want to stamp here and what I want to stamp on there. Stamp set. So this is the stamp set. And the question is, it's a photopolymer stamp set, which means you can actually see where you're stamping. So I think this calls for having a sentiment on here. So that hello friend would fit there quite nicely. So I'm going to put that on there. And I need something that will fit on here. Now, how about the bird? The bird will fit like that. So I might put him on there. Now I could stamp direct onto there, or I could stamp it onto another piece and then fussy cut it out. There's all sorts of things that you could do. It's really up to you as to what you want to achieve. I'll figure that one out in a minute. Right, okay, so let's start with the stamping on this. Look, I've got dimensionals. I'm going to put them somewhere where I can see them. So hopefully it means that I'm not going to lose them, although I've said that before, I know. So because this is a photopolymer stamp set, I am going to use my Stampin' piercing mat, because it has a little bit of give, which the photopolymer stamps need. They're not like the cling red rubber stamps, which have already got the foam built in. So I'm going to stamp the bird on here. Let's see, he can go there. Push down, make sure I get a good image. Yep, happy with that. So he's going to go there. Now, I'm just going to bring this in for a second, because what I want to do is put this in place. I'm not gluing it, I'm just placing it so that I know roughly where my placement is for stamping. And in fact, oops, so just open this and probably make it much easier to see. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a little line. Like that. So I know that I need to stamp in that space. So if I stamp anywhere else, you won't see it. Because obviously if I stamp here, although, you know, it's nice in the middle of there, you won't actually see it on the card when you've got the card in front of you and it's shut. So I'm going to stamp that there. And now, $64 million question is, what colour shall I use? Sorry, let's find a block first. So I'm going to put that on there. I don't want, I could use black. So I could put that on here. And I don't know that I do want to use black though. Might be a bit too heavy. Let's see now. So we've got fresh freesia and we've got pale papaya. What other colours are in the paper? So I've got some colours here. So I've got pool party, I've got granny apple green, I've got the fresh freesia and the pale papaya. Now the card base is fresh freesia. So maybe that's what I'll do. Just so that it all coordinates. So I need to ink that up. And then I'm going to stamp it. Make sure a bit more. Trying to see where all my lines are. So I'm going to stamp it about there. Apologies if things are shaking a bit. Now I've got a little bit of a line there. I think that calls for a rhinestone. I've done that. Now I was umming and ahhing about doing a flower as well, which could actually go there. And then I could colour it. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll hide it. Now this one I am going to stamp it in black simply because I want to colour it and I want to use my Stampin' blends. So I'm going to use Tuxedo black, the Memento black. And let's see, now which way did I have it? I think I had it that way, didn't I? That is just going to be just in the line. Well, maybe not. Okay. I still can have a rhinestone on it. So I'm going to erase that pencil lines. Like so. Tatty bit here, don't really want that. Oops, come on here. Let's colour this quickly. So I've got my Granny Apple Green Stampin' blends, the Pool Party, my Fresh Freesia, and I've got Pale Papaya. Yes, that one's Pale Papaya, and nope, that's Petal Pink. And that's Petal Pink. So I'm going to just colour the flower very quickly with the Pale Papaya. Like so. I'm going to use some Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to use this sharper nib for that. And I'm going to colour that question is what colour to do the centre of the flower. And I think I'm going to go pool party. I know you don't normally see blue centres, but you know what? This is my card and I can put what colour I want on there. So I'm going to go pool party. So there we go. So that's that one done. So that will get glued inside the card, roughly there, like that. And I've got a pencil mark there, so I need to take that off. These will get glued on here. Like so. And then this can go on here. Now, as I said, I could, if I wanted to, colour these. I can't decide. I might. Depends on how long you want to watch me colouring, really. Actually, I'm not going to. But I would say if you want to colour these, then colour them before you stick. Because the Stampin' blends do bleed, as you'll see from here. Sometimes the back actually looks as nice as the front. So you just need to be careful of that. But I will colour this one very quickly. Let's see now. I'm going to do some, where's it? Like pale papaya again. So I'm just going to colour this the same as the flower inside, using the same colours. When I'm colouring with my alcohol markers, these Stampin' blends, I prefer to use the light and then the dark, and then go back over with the light. But it's really up to you. Whichever way you prefer to use them is the right way. There is no right or wrong way. I know people who do light, dark, light, dark, light. But then you'll get a really dark colour. I'm going to go pool party middle. What the heck? And we're going to go granny apple green for the branch. I'll start with the light. The one thing about having dark images with just some lines that you can colour is that it doesn't normally matter too much if you go over the dark colour with the blends. You can't really see it. What I don't want to do though is go over the bird's feet. I don't think birds have green feet. Even though I did just say you could colour whatever you wanted to. And then the $64 million question is what colour should I do the bird? And I think I'm going to do him, see, pool party. Let's start with the light. That's the dark though. Here we go, the light. I'm going to do light pool party all over. And then I'm going to make some of the feathers on his wings and tail darker, and his breast, top of his head. Go back over with the light just to bring it all in. So, there we go. Let's see if I can blend that in a bit better. So that's a little word. Let's just move those out of the way. So all that's really left now is to glue it all together and to add some embellishments. So I've got my glue. So he's going to be going on here. And of course you can also add Winker Stella to the flowers, just to give them a little bit of a shine, a bit of a glitter. Might do that in a second. So that's him. And then we want to put, one's going to go on there. Just trying to make sure that I had the right ones on the right way. So I've got one little square. That's going to go. So this one's going to go here, trying to line up the bottom edge of the paper, of the cardstock there, with the bottom edge of the paper, like so. And there's a reason for that, and you'll see it in a second. Put this on. So I was hoping that today, probably was counting my chickens, to have, say, I finally got some decent internet, but it's taking a bit longer than they thought it was going to, so we don't have it yet. But hey, never mind. So again, I've tried to line up the edge of this paper with the edge of the white cardstock, and then I'm going to then use, and you can see that I'm going to use this piece and that line there to line up my white, so then I know that I've got kind of an even line going around. So I would definitely use multi-purpose glue for this Tombow, simply because you really do need the wiggle room for this last piece. The other bit's not too bad if you prefer to use tape. But again, you know, once that's down, it's down, so you're kind of stuck with it. There we go. So that is that. So there's that card. So it's nice and flat, so it'll fit easily in an A6 envelope. I know I've got that little bit of purple there, which you don't really notice until I point it out, and then it's one of those things that once you see it, it becomes a bit of a bugbear. Let's see now. I've got some use some rhinestones, I think, or should I use some? Maybe I'll use some of the new iridescent rhinestones, which are really sweet. So I'm going to use those. I do have a picture somewhere. There it is. Again, if you use the putty end, it makes it so much easier to get things off. And you just you don't pick up as such, you just slide like so. You know what, I'm just going to be random. And then I think the bird needs some as well. Let's put some on here. I try not to think too long about putting these on, simply because the more I think, I can't make up my mind, and then I never know, and I never stop. So anyway, so that is my card for today. So as I said, it's a very simple 3 score lines fun fold, and as I've used the Friendly Hello stamp set and paper from Celebration. Don't forget that ends end of this month. card and the cuppa next week. So, and next week is the deadline for purchasing your kits for March. So if you want your March kits, remember, just pop over to oakfieldcrafts.com, and then you'll see a bar at the top, and you just click on the cards, kits and tutorials link, and then that will then show you card and the cuppa, and you just go on there. March's classes, I'm just figuring out the date, but as I said, I'm going to be using the New Horizons paper. That's both for the Clean and Simple at Home class and also the main technique class. I'm heading to San Diego beginning of March, so everything's going to be on Zoom for class-wise for March and April, and also a few things will just change times because of the time difference. Love you guys, but sadly 2:30 in the morning is a bit too much for me to stamp. So I'll get up early, but not that early. So that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed seeing that. As I said, I will post the directions on a Facebook. This video will get posted in a second once I've finished yakking. And I'll also upload it to YouTube, because I know there are some people who, obviously I'm not talking to them now because they're not on watching, but they don't do Facebook. So I always like to upload it to YouTube too. Don't forget, if you get a chance, can you just pop over to my YouTube channel and like it? Trying to get things moving a little bit, and the more likes I get, the more traction, and then hopefully more people will get to see it. But thanks a lot, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.